Okay, well, coming off an off week, getting ready for Minnesota. We had a productive week last week. It was nice to come off 2 wins on the road, especially at Wisconsin. I thought we had a productive week, gave guys some time off, focus on their schoolwork, get healthy, get kind of a peace of mind, I think. We had really good workouts when we did have workouts, and I went on the light side rather than the heavy side. We had 3 workouts last week, and thought we had an excellent practice yesterday. So, yeah, skates. We were in a limited time period, actually. Yeah, which we haven't had since I've been here, just because of the way our schedules worked out. So I was kind of surprised by that. I didn't realize it, but we didn't even come close to using the time. We were real careful and tried to get guys fresh. So thought we accomplished that. Had good workouts then, good workout yesterday, and I think we're in a good frame of mind moving forward. Minnesota, obviously, a really good team, young group that's emerging and playing real well now. There's especially getting some real good play by some of their key upperclassmen. Their goalie's a freshman who's played real well, had a great season in Muskegon last year, and I think he's been very consistent for them. Good on special teams, good skill. So we know what to expect from them. They came off of obviously an important weekend for them last week, given where they are in the standings, and an emotional overtime win for them on Saturday night at home launches them into this week. So we're anxious to get playing again.
Tom, it seems the right before you guys went on this little run of good form with a few wins and ties thrown in here was that Minnesota series, and now they're coming back into town. You guys are coming off a bye and a road sweep. So is it any kind of looking back to what you guys fixed after that last Minnesota series of how maybe to try to beat them again, or is it just kind of different team, different time, we'll see what happens?
You know, there's been parts of our game that we just have not gotten enough consistency from, and that was a sign when we played them at Minnesota last time. Our Friday night game was not real strong. Saturday I thought we played well enough to win, and we struggled to score goals, which has been an issue for us for a better part of the season. So, but I thought we played real well. We gave up a late goal. I think, as I recall, an early third period goal and then a late goal to lose that game. So I don't know. I like the frame of mind of our team right now. I think it's kind of fresh. We kind of know where we are. Not that we like where we are, but we've created where we are, and we know what's ahead of us. And so we have lots of respect for their team. We know they're playing really well, and we respect their skill level as well. And so I think we're just anxious to get back at it.
After you looked at the Wisconsin series, what did you like most about just the way you guys played, other than the fact you got 2 wins and just how you took charge a little bit? And like you say, you wanted to be a tough team to play against, and at times in that series you were.
Well, Friday night I didn't think we played particularly well, and yet we found a way to win, so I like that because we've played quite well at times and lost games. So I thought that was a positive, finding a way to win when maybe you don't have your best stuff. That was a positive. The second night, I thought we played a good game. I thought we showed some real patience in the game because the game was pretty close all game long. And I thought we did a good job both defending and moving the puck, which at times has been a challenge for us. And then I thought we were patient in our game that we were able to come up with big plays at the right time. And that's been a challenge for us again this year where we haven't won key moments, and I thought in both games, particularly that Saturday night game, we won some key moments, and it resulted in a win.
5-on-3, and then
yeah, that was huge. So we give up a goal, and then they start to have some momentum, and we kill off that 5-on-3 late in the game. We're able to kill that off, take some momentum back, and then get the game-winning goal. Good confidence boost, and good resiliency. It shows how resilient the guys were. I thought the other thing that was real positive, I thought Hildy played real well.
I was going to say, what's the difference between Hildy's team now and, say, maybe early
Puck,
January?
pucks aren't going in and finding their way in unusual ways. Like he didn't have a lot of puck luck in the first half of the year, and for whatever reason, pucks going wide, they're deflecting and finding their way into the net. Who was it against? I can't remember. It might have been Wisconsin, where we had two guys positioned to block a shot, and it went off both guys and found its way into the net. It's those kinds of things that have happened this year that you can't really account for them. And maybe it's a makeup for last year when lots of things were finding their way and hitting them. So I don't know. But I think he's in a good place mentally. I think he's seeing the puck real well. When he's really on his game, what you notice the most is his rebound control. Like the puck either sticks to him or goes to areas that you can't get a second or third shot on, and he minimizes the real big saves that he has to make. And so he seems to be more in that groove than probably the first half of the year.
So now he's aggressive instead of tentative.
Yeah.
Those other goals might lead to.
Yeah, and when you are tentative, you're back in your net. So those pucks have an easier way of finding their way in, and I don't think he's back in the net. I think he's out of his net. But you could see his confidence just in his approach every day, even in practice.
Coach, coming off a sweep, you guys obviously have a lot of confidence, momentum. How have you been able to carry that confidence and momentum over through the off week and into a tough opponent like Minnesota?
Well, we're going to have to see. I thought we had a real good week last week, given that we didn't play. Fortunately, we came off of a road sweep, so that's something that our team hasn't had the luxury of doing, and so that felt pretty good, leaving Madison with a couple wins. And then I thought we were pretty smart with how we used our time. So we gave guys a blend of some time off, both mentally and physically. We've had some guys playing through injuries, and we gave guys time to kind of patch themselves up. I think that was good. And you can see morale has been real good. So we'll see going into the weekend. I'm anxious to see because those three skates that we had were real good. Yesterday's was real good, and now we'll have to see the remainder of the week. But our practices generally have been good spirits, good energy, good intensity, and they've been productive. So it all depends on how you play on Friday.
Tom, after your losing streak ended, and you, over the last month or so, went now going 4-3-1. What's the difference in the teams from then and now that enables you to compete better and have a chance to win some of these games?
Well, I think there's a lot of different things that have impacted our season so far this year, Neil, from probably early season injuries to a point where we were probably playing guys more minutes than we should have and wanted to maybe struggling with confidence. Certain players going through seasonal struggles in their game, to inconsistency in different parts of our game. Whether it's scoring. At a time of year, I thought we'd see an incremental increase in our scoring. I liked where it was going. And then we couldn't keep the puck out of our net. So we changed some things that we were due to try to overcompensate for that, and it's impacted our ability to score. So it's been one thing after another for the most part during the course of the year. I think that the thing that I think is pretty impressive is how resilient mentally our team is. It's a together group. I think if you came out and watched us practice every day, you'd see a group that's out there working hard, playing together, good morale in spite of the challenges of the season. So it's easy to keep things on target when everything's going well, and it's very difficult when things aren't going well. So I give our upperclassmen, our leadership group, a lot of credit because it's been a challenging year, and yet we're heading into the most important time of year. We know we've got some big obstacles to overcome, and yet I think our game is progressively getting better, maybe better late than never. But I think we're gaining confidence in more who we are, what we are. I think, like, as an example on defense, we've been thin back there, numbers-wise. And so we've moved Justin Humayan back there. And the longer he's been back there, the more comfortable he's getting. He never played defense before. And so now we can feed him some minutes. And if he can capture some minutes and do a good quality job, that lessens the load on the other guys. When it lessens the load, now maybe they can be more productive in the time that they're out there, which is positive. So it's been that kind of season for us in different ways. We've tried to settle on some line combinations, which I think has been positive. So once you get through injuries and then you get through some inconsistency in play, we're at a point where we're really trying to stay with some lines so guys can play together, and that's the goal all along. But because of other circumstances, you can't always do that. So I don't think there's an easy answer to that or a simple answer. I think there's some complexity to it. But I think more than anything, guys are working hard together and staying together to fight through this, knowing that, hey, in our sport, if you can be hot at the right time, who knows what can happen.
Within that, Minnesota, what's the challenge when you play a team like the Gophers, that they're not as offensive maybe as Michigan, but certainly very skilled and dangerous?
Depth. I would say depth is an important component to deal with them. They can come at you at least three to four deep. And they don't have the offensive depth that Michigan's team has this year. But, they have depth on defense. Heck, we played them the last couple of years. They've had NHL draft picks who don't even make the lineup. I don't know what their situation is now. But, they have a freshman goalie who had lots of success in junior hockey and has played a lot of minutes, so he's no longer a freshman. He's playing with lots of confidence. And so you look at those teams, and oftentimes you think, geez, they're good offensive teams, and they have good offensive skill and talent. But they defend pretty well, too. They're not an easy team to play against, and it's hard to get good quality scoring chances. It's hard to forecheck teams that have defense who can go back, get the puck, and can either move it out or skate it out. So they're not an easy team to play against on either side of the puck, offensively or defensively. And they weren't incredibly experienced coming into the season, but by this time, a lot of the young guys have lots of experience. So they're a good team. I think they're kind of hitting their stride.
Anyone else? Is there value in when you beat Michigan? That seemed like a real important confidence show. Is there value in also beating Minnesota before the conference tournament, having that sort of frame of reference? Because those are the two teams you're going to have to get through at some point.
Without a doubt. And I think that's part of the mix. In spite of a challenging season, seeing the level that we're capable of playing should breed a certain level of confidence, but you got to find the consistency to perform at that level on a night-by-night basis, and that's escaped us so far. So I think our team believes that, and I think you come into a series with Minnesota, and if you can create similar success, it's going to help your confidence in that level or in that manner, because when you get into tournament play, you're right. You got to go through those teams to have success, and so there's no better way to gain some confidence than by having some success along the way.